the NPB, but the last couple of years has been a sub-2 ERA, and that breaking ball is going to be that big weapon once he gets settled in.
And the lefty kicks and deals his first pitch at 3:08 in the afternoon for ball one, and we are underway here for our final game of 10 in 6 days from here on.
Had the 2 off days in between.
3-2, Lopez back up the middle. A leadoff single on the 7th pitch of the first at bat of Wednesday afternoon, and Lopez is on to get it started for Canada.
And Tyler, make no mistake here on that Cuba bench. They're pressing just as much as this team Canada's pressing. As good as Livan Moinelo, as some of the accolades he's had the last couple of years, the sub-2 ERA, the curveball, everything we've talked about.
The stadium could be falling down around him, and he would be focused on his next pitch. But he seems a little rattled here as he issues a 2-pitch walk, in effect, to Josh Naylor, and it's 1st and 2nd to get things started against Livan Moinelo for Canada in the first. 2-2, and Moinelo's got his first strikeout as he blows away O'Neill. 1 gone in the first.
Again, we talk about every pitch, every at-bat. Don't let it come back to haunt you as you get deeper into this game. Again, Livan Moinelo, you got him on the ropes. It could be few and far between where he starts to struggle with that command. Now all of a sudden he gets that big strike at a pitch. Honestly, Tyler O'Neill, and we've seen this throughout the years, could handle.
So 1 away, and the runners are going, and Moinelo now has Lopez hung up between 2nd and 3rd, and Canada runs into an out on the base paths. But we're going to get a balk call instead on Moinelo, and all kinds of controversy here in the first inning. Tomoya Ishiyama, our second base umpire, will confer with his colleagues.
Again, you got to clear that rubber with your back foot. Well, it's tough to see from here. His back foot and hands have to separate. Excuse me, his back foot has to go off the back of the rubber.
And you know what? That I don't think was a balk call. He's calling Yoan Moncada for being the way of the runner. That's what it is.
You're right.
And so is Otto Lopez. Very interesting
look at it.
Start to this game. An obstruction call against Moncada, and that's it. I mean, and Otto Lopez, you know, to his credit, you see that guy an opportunity to jump in front. The guy who's been hitting the ball very hard, Abraham Toro, swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Moncada will track this one and put it away in foul ground. Big out for the 2nd of the first inning. And Casey walks. 2nd free pass of the inning. Moinelo ready again. Davidson high in the air on the infield. Moncada, with the wind always playing a factor, calmly puts it away in the composure of Livan Moinelo. He wriggles out of the first. We'll go to the bottom of 1. Scoreless. Cuba coming up. Out there doing the work. This is pitch number 40. And O'Neill laces that one to left field. It's down for a base hit. 2nd hit of the day for Canada. And it comes from the big right fielder for the Baltimore Orioles. A 1-out man aboard for Canada in the 3rd.
Yeah, it's that pitch, middle in. He can get to drive that ball into left field. Any chance that last at bat wasn't able to get to it. Tell you what, they're being really aggressive. We talked about
0-1. Abraham Toro flips this one out, and it gets past the lunging Kape and into right field. Yiddy Kape, I think, was going to try to play that on the loft because O'Neill was off of the first base bag, and then it just died in front of him.
This is a tough one off the end of the bat, and that ball just kept fading away from Kape, the 2nd baseman. A tough pitch to get to, just snuck its way through the hole, especially off that bounce off this turf when it's side spinning like that.
Yiddy Kape has been really, really good. O'Neill away from 2nd. And Toro from 1st. And that one will skip away from Perez, and everybody will move up. And now O'Neill flying around 3rd base, and Moinelo had not yet broken to cover the plate. Tyler O'Neill will stay put there. The wild pitch puts 2 in scoring position.
Now, that was a fastball, 93, kind of handcuffed Perez, it looked like. Maybe had a little bit extra cut. Moinelo's ball naturally has some of that cut to it. They'll actually rule that a pass ball on Perez. 3-2.
Casey to right field. This will be deep enough to get the run in, presumably. Catch made out there by Guibert. Tagging at third. Here's O'Neill. Throw is offline. Tyler O'Neill scores. Owen Casey continues to deliver for Canada, and it's 1-0 in the top of the third.
Well, again, I talked about this the second last pitch. Moinello decided to go fastball against Owen Casey, and he missed it. Swung through a pitch further on the outside part of the plate. Then he goes middle in with another fastball, 92, and just enough. And Tyler, he's lucky he didn't do more damage with that pitch. But Canada able to get that first run.
Tyler O'Neill took a glance at him, and yeah, he kind of stutter-stepped down the line and then realized Guibert was coming straight home with it. Now Matt Davidson in the air to center field. And Royal Santos will camp out under it to put it away. But Owen Casey drives in the first run of this game, and Canada strikes first. 1-0 going to the bottom of the third. Canada, with Martinez fighting this one off, he'll dunk it down into right field for a base hit. That is Cuba's first knock since the first inning, and that one was also a single flared to right by Ariel Martinez. Just the second base runner of the day against Canada's starter Cal Quantrill, and Cuba has something on in the bottom of the fourth.
It wasn't a bad pitch. Tried to pitch him in. I talked about it the second time through the lineup. It was a struggle last year. I'm curious.
1-0, grounds it left side. Lopez, Julien, Davidson, got them both. Big double play ends things in the fourth. 3 of those for extra bases, a couple of doubles and a triple. He's also walked a couple of times, and he crushes this one deep to right. Abraham Toro doubles the lead for Canada. It's 2-0 here in the top half of the fifth.
I'll tell you what, Abraham Toro has been red hot in this pool play. We talked about his ability to hit the ball the other way to left field. We saw him start to drive the ball into right field, but nothing bigger than that. Reaching the seats here on this final day.
Toro now hitting .462 for the event.
Yeah, this is a changeup, 90 miles per hour, just kind of floated, hung out right in his wheelhouse.
I don't believe that it is against the rules, but those guys with the Canadian flag on the right, I think that's just a target. I think that's that was 8 feet to their right. They almost got another one. They were present on day number 1. There they are. Our 2 guys who have been hanging out for every Canada game. The win over a couple of squads, the loss to Panama, and here they are with a 2-0 lead thanks to Abraham Toro in the 5th. We're going to the bottom of the 5th inning. Canada is out in front. He's already thrown more pitches in this at bat than he threw in the entire 5th inning. But he'll issue his first walk, a leadoff walk to Yoel Young. He'll check over at first, and he throws that ball away. Yanqui falls down, but with so much foul territory, he can take second and maybe third. Yanqui digging for third base, and he's in there sliding safely. A crucial misplay on the throwing error puts a man in scoring position 90 feet away with nobody out in the 6th.
And what a break. Look, Canada's up by 2. I get it. Yanqui, they haven't scored a run yet. But for Cal Quantrill, who is in a nice rhythm, all of a sudden a leadoff hit. First time they've had a leadoff batter reach base. And now all of a sudden, they got a runner on third with none out. He threw that ball away. You can't anchor on this play right now. You have to make these pitches.
Go to work and add to this lead because of what Cal Quantrill is giving you. As the 1-2 is grounded right side. That'll get the first run of the game home for Cuba. And RBI ground out for Guibert. The base is clear with 2 outs, but it's a 2-1 game. Two from Quantrill. Got him! Cal Quantrill roars to his dugout as he completes 5 and has his team out in front. We are ticketed for one heck of a finish here in San Juan. It's a 1-run ball game. Cuba out in front. This angular roof Such a distinctive design, and for Matt Davidson and the rest of these hitters, as this one popped up, and this is a long run for everybody, and it's dropped out there by Cape. Wow. We have been singing Yiddy Cape's praises. He and Alexander Vargas, a long run to get to that ball, and Cape, it seemed like, made a late call on it.
He was camped. You see that little bit of that on your heels as that ball was approaching that glove. We've seen the wind play a factor. It's
Rodriguez deals down and in, and that one skips away from Perez, and it's going to send Davidson to second. Now he's headed for third. The throw from Perez is not going to be in time to get him. Mistakes galore to start the sixth, and Canada has a leadoff base runner 90 feet away to try to erase the run that Cuba got back in the bottom of the fifth.
Oh man, you talked about all that foul ground. What about off that AstroTurf? The ball's just going to keep bouncing away from you with all that area behind the plate.
Matt Davidson listed at 6'3", 230. He was rumbling around second, and now a foul pop. This one high, which could give enough time. No! Yoan Moncada gave up on that play completely, and Perez can't make it. And it is all falling apart for Cuba right now here in the sixth.
And if you're Canada, you've got to capitalize on some of this. You mentioned Yoan Moncada just kind of giving up. That's his priority, right? When you're charging in like that, it is a tough play for your catcher with some of the angles trying to glove that ball. If you're Yoan Moncada, you've got to take control of that play.
Here's the 3-2 pitch, and Naylor drives it down the right field line. That is extra bases for Bo Naylor. In is Davidson. Canada responds. It's 3-1.
Big smiles from his big brother Josh Naylor in that dugout. Bo, who did struggle last year with the bat as a Cleveland Guardian, comes up big right here in the sixth inning and gets that run back. Gets a pitch he can handle, middle of the plate. Eyes light up, drives that ball into right field.
We'll get a visit to the mound from the pitching coach on this Cuban squad, Jesus Bosmenier. Ryan, before the game today, Herman Mesa was asked in his pregame press conference about the lineup changes. Now they are probably going to have to look for different options in that bullpen to keep this thing close. The 0-2, and Denzel Clark fouls it to stay alive at the plate. No, did not get a piece of it, did get a piece of it. No, we're going to get, is that a catcher's interference call? It is.
Now
he scooped the ball up with the mask? Wow, so that's going to advance Naylor to third, and Clark is on now. We have seen some things in this game that you don't see in a decade of watching baseball.
We're going to get another look at it. Swung and missed at it. Denzel Clark's got to hustle down the line. And you see him stopping that ball with that mask. Man, some of the unforced errors right here. Man, trapping that ball with the mask, you cannot do that, kids.
Runner off from first, and Clark has second stolen easily. Second and third, nobody out for Julien.
Man, think about what Yariel Rodriguez is pitching with right now. Some of the frustration from his defense. Some of these mishaps. Easy jump.
Rodriguez deals. Lopez bouncing ball left side. That's past the lunge of Vargas and into left. In to score is Bo Naylor. Denzel Clark can fly. He scores two. And Canada has busted it open. It's 5-1.
And with everything going on in this inning for Cuba.
3 runs already home for Canada in the top half of the sixth inning. And Ryan, how about Otto Lopez delivering again?
Yeah, coming up big. Look, I was talking about some of the at-bats earlier where it's just ultra aggressive. Yariel Rodriguez gave him a pitch he could handle, and all of a sudden Canada has busted this game wide open.
5-1 our score. In danger of missing out on the quarters for the first time ever. Tyler O'Neill, everything in the air. is dicey, and this time Yeti Kape puts it away, and that'll send us to the bottom of the 6th. But Canada has broken it open. It's 5-1. And you look at all that list of miscues as Moncada sends one up the first baseline. That's a fair ball and down toward the corner. Rounding second and headed into third. Santos will wait there, and it's second and third with one out for Cuba here in the bottom half of the 6th.
I said this a couple minutes ago. Cuba have been in this situation plenty of times before, that's for sure, and all of a sudden you have the situation where you knock Cal Quantrill out of this game, reaches that pitch limit.
And Yoan Moncada slow to get up at second base. Didn't see what happened, but maybe just an awkward slide.
Yeah, we've seen these little injuries with derailing his campaigns at the major league level too, whether it's a hamstring or an ankle, wherever it may be for him, so that may be it.
Cuba just has not found out a way to get its bats going. Two of those teams have been relegated, but here's a shot to right field and a base hit. Martinez with a 3-hit day. He'll drive in just one as Moncada has to hold at third, but Cuba claws one back, and it's 5-2.
All right, on cue, you're flashing up that average for this Cuban team. But Ariel Martinez, just too much plate. And for Indigo Diaz, I know he's a young pitcher. He's 27 years old, some time in the minor leagues, but again, too much plate with the open base. And a guy like Ariel Martinez. And again, this Cuban team is far from done. Still plenty of baseball left.
1-1. Check that. The 0-2, a called strike 3. Again, we had a video board clock issue, and you could see Despaigne kind of give it a second look. But he is gone, and that's a big second out. And for Diaz, one of those outs that really calms you down.
Yeah, for sure. This is a hanging slider. He got away with one right here. This is a pitch he was trying to bury down and away.
And the 3-0 is ball 4, and they are loaded up for Yeti Kape. Mako ready. Deep breath in the 0-2. Got him! Monster strikeout for Adam Mako. And Canada wriggles out of the jam in the 6th. 1 run home, but a 3-run lead for the visitors as we head to the 7th at San Juan. So far, it has not worked out the way they had hoped, but a walk for Hernandez, who's on to set it up for Roel Santos. Look at all these Puerto Rican beers we've been drinking. That's over 3 beers per inning. Grounder out too short, and a nice play. Oh, but the dig on the other side is knocked down by Davidson, who's now going to try to nab Hernandez, who takes the extra base. And defense again playing a factor. A tough play for Otto Lopez. It's first and third with one away.
And again, Pax, the game's going to speed up on him a little bit here with some runners on base, but you have to look. Santos is 38 years old. We know about the wheels, but you're still going to get rid of that ball quick, Otto Lopez. Davidson just couldn't glove the ball on the other end.
Lopez kind of short-armed that throw, signed with the Dodgers in 2014, and he waits on a big one here from Paxton and goes after it and can't catch up. 94 from the veteran lefty James Paxton, and a big second out in the 7th.
Well, Tyler, wasn't 96, but still plenty of velocity from that low 3/4 and just on the attack. Look, I know he had a rough 6th inning against Panama, but still, just on the attack mode, you can see these Cuban fans.
Here it comes. Got him! James Paxton strikes out the side in the 7th. And Cuba leaves a pair. We head to the 8th. Canada 6 outs away from its first quarterfinal trip. Cuba, Yoan Lopez takes over, and Denzel Clark bounces one out to short, where Rizbel Barbuena, just into this game, may have gotten the out. Denzel Clark bursting across the first base bag, immediately turned around and pointed. Now, granted, we see that a lot, but Denzel's already taken off the leg guard. He feels like he was safe at first. And Canada will immediately go for the challenge.
We're getting another look at it.
Yeah, he's safe.
Yeah, he bit it. Rubarena, the ball will find you when you come into the game for the first time. Kind of sat back on his heels. He cannot do that again with Denzel Clark getting down that line.
Yeah, that came off the bat, and that first big hop made you think, oh, I don't know if they're going to have a chance to get him. I think you'll get some 95s. And he said, you think so? Bouncer out towards second. Cape to Aruba for one, and back to first in time to get Julien. So the 4-6-3 double play erases that leadoff infield single. 2 gone and the bases are clear.
You feel like every mishap that's happened with this Cuban defense has come back to bite them. They're quickly wrapping that up. Little ground ball double play. And no action in that Canadian bullpen either, so you think James Paxton will be getting back out there.
2-2, or the 3-2 rather, is high as well. And that is ball 4. Now,
Yeah, that's right.
they haven't smiled in almost a week. Josh Naylor fights this one off the hands, falling quickly in left, and on comes Martinez, who can't make the catch. Rounding third base, here comes Lopez to the plate. The insurance run is in on the flare off the bat of Naylor, and Canada adds a 6th run. It's back to a 4-run lead.
Well, Tyler, I said at some point Josh Naylor is going to come up big. Wasn't the hardest hit ball, that's for sure. But for Ariel Martinez, look, great effort right here trying to make this play and just missed out on catch him. It bounces off that turf. And unfortunately for him, you see that ball just sneak away.
Back out to second, and an easy play there for Cape. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Canada gets a run back and reinstates a 4-run margin. We have gotten a chance to work with here in San Juan has been so world-class, and we're shouting them out for a reason. And this Abraham Toro skies one out in the air to left. This is a long run again for Martinez, and again the wind playing tricks, and nobody makes the play, and everything is falling apart for Cuba in the field here on the final day of Pool A.
Wow. Yeah, this is stunning right here. Yeah, I mean, you can talk about the wind if you want, but right here, first of all, you need to have this. Obviously, the priority here is left field. Rubarena just kind of gives up on it. So grateful and so fortunate.
Rip right side, Owen Casey comes through yet again. Rounding third, here comes Toro. It's 7-2 Canada in the 9th.
Man, Tyler, that's the knockout blow right there. You're facing the Cuban team that looks absolutely defeated. Right now it shows on the field. And then you have Owen Casey, the hottest bat in this Canadian lineup. And you're literally throwing pitches down the middle against Raidel Martinez.
During the glory years of Cuban baseball, and these are the things that Cuba did not do in that era. As a grounder out to short, 6-4-3 double play. That's really nicely turned there by Rubarena and Yiddy Cape. 1-1, Naylor out to second. Cape is there, and Canada will try to close out its first ever trip to the World Baseball Classic when we return in San Juan. Look at the numbers for this pitching staff. Just amazing work done here by the guys in red, white, and black, and he dispatches Nunez one away.
Again, just owning the inner half of the plate for James Paxton. Big maple, big lefty, bearing in on some of these righties. But let's look back at the strikeouts. That glove side fastball. And again, we talked about the velocity, right? 92s, 93s. And all of a sudden, 94s.
And you move on to the quarterfinals. There's a very, very good possibility that we see Canada in Miami for the semis. 2 gone, another strikeout, the 6th for James Paxton.
Yeah, it's really all come together, right? This offense. And especially, look at this slider right here. This is absolutely nasty from that low 3/4, left on left. No chance.
And he was lifted by Ernie Witt. So here is Sarantola to try to finish it out. 0-2. In the air, to left. Here comes Owen Casey. And for the first time in its history, Canada is headed on to the World Baseball Classic quarterfinals.
Tyler, it all came together at the right time. We talked about the offense, but what about the pitching? You got guys coming out of retirement, one in James Paxton. What a weapon he was today. You got Cal Quantrill, who was coming off a tough 2025. You didn't quite know what you're going to get from him on this 6th and final day in this start against Cuba. He goes out and dominates.